Hello, and welcome to day 3 of the 21 Days to Intentional Balance Challenge. Again, my name is Kelley Duren-Jones, and I welcome you to the challenge. This is day 3. So let's do a little recap. Day 1, we released our concerns and worries to the journal, to the notebook, to the tablet, whatever tool you're using. When you write it down, when you type it out, when you say it out, it's good to put it on paper or type it out. But when you release it to the universe, you're stepping into your first step of healing, getting it off yourself, putting it on the paper. We also wrote out our goals and action steps for week 1. Day 2, we identified current disruptions that are going on and wrote one habit or one thing that we could do immediately, that we can implement immediately. And this plants the seed of change. Do not expect for things to change overnight, but you do need to start the process. So remember our talk that we talked about on the first day, where we talked about how certain habits give you certain feelings. Sometimes, if it's something that gets you feeling like you're excited, the next time you do it, you'll immediately get that feeling. Or if it's something that makes you sad, when you think about doing, have you ever thought about something and you just immediately feel like, oh man, I'm feeling down from the habit. So, what we do not want to do is make this journaling experience a feeling of anxiety or adding it to your daily stress. So, we don't want to think, oh, I'm behind, I'm on day 3 and I still have to do day 1. Oh, so every time you journal, you'll feel, oh, like it's work. We actually want this to be an experience of release. So if you feel like you're behind, there's really no such thing because this is a personal journey. Just start from where you are. Learn to relax and just be present in the moment to learn to, we're creating the habit to release, not to add stress to our daily habits or our daily um, activities. So now we're coming upon day 3. In day 3, we're going to talk about you will get through this. Today, I challenge you to do 2 things, but let's talk about it. So our scripture for today is 1 Corinthians 10:13. And this scripture reminds us that what we are going through is not new. It's not something that no one else has ever experienced. I know a lot of times we go through things and we think, why me? It's always me. Or nobody else experienced this. Yes, they do, and they have gotten through it. And so will you. The scripture also talks about God being faithful and providing a way out of our situation. Sometimes we feel like, I don't know how this is going to work out. Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't see your way out? I think we all have. Just thinking back, one of the biggest experiences that I felt like that was back in 2017 when my grandma Betty was really ill, and I just didn't see a way that she could get better. And it just really, I was almost just like mad about it. And then at the same time, my dad was battling leukemia. And then eventually my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer all at the same time. And I was just like, I don't know how they're going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how we're going to make it through this. It was just so overwhelming to me. I was going to work, just looking crazy, halfway doing my work, couldn't concentrate, falling behind. And I wasn't able to really talk about it without bawling. So I just kept it all in and I just carried it around. I was angry at people, at God. I was just a mess and I could not see my way out. And my grandmother passed away in 2017. And, my dad, is healed now. My mom is healed. I thank God for that. But my grandmother passed away in 2017. And I was just like, yeah, she's, lived a good life. She raised her children, and her grandchildren well. We all felt like we were her favorites. I don't know how she did that with so many kids, but she did it, had a good life. But I was still angry and hurt because I was praying for her to be healed, because that's what I wanted. And I remember talking to my aunt Roxanne, and she said, I prayed for her to be healed, and God healed her. And I was thinking like, no, he didn't, and I don't say much Just this is just my personality to just keep my thoughts in my head. But in my head, I was rolling my eyes and thinking, no, he didn't. But then she went on to explain, I asked God to heal her, and he did, because she's no longer in pain, she's no longer suffering, she no longer carries the weights of the world. And I was just like, oh, well, that's a different, I didn't think about it like that. So that made me think back to when all of that was going on. What could I have done different? How could I have handled my own frame of mind different? And also, which would have put me in a position to help others more, instead of just being all wrapped up in myself. So, can you think of a time when you saw no way out? You just didn't understand it, didn't make sense to you. You saw no way out, but then somehow you made it through. And those results can be different for everybody, but you made it through. So write in your journal today. The first thing I want you to do is write in your journal today that experience that you were in previously, that you saw no way out, it just didn't make sense to you, and you saw no way out, but then you made it out, or the situation was resolved. And once you identify the situation, write the end results and what actions you actually took during that time. And then write what you would do differently if you could do that all over again, which a lot of things we do not want to do over again. But sometimes you need to look at the things that happened, the process you went through, the results, and your actions in that situation, so that when life happens again, because life will happen, you have some tools and some um, habits formed that when life happens, you respond better, or you respond that will give you a better result, or at least allow you to get through it without maybe the anxiety, the anger, questions. So write that down. Write what you went through. Be specific. Release it to the paper, and then identify that situation, and then write what happened and how you handled it and what you would do different. That's number one. Number two, look at your action steps on your 21-day goal sheets for the week. We did that on day one. You should have wrote your action steps for the week. If you didn't, don't stress out. Just write them now. Look at those. And then look at the answers that you wrote for number one as to what actions you took that you would no look at the answers that so look at the actions that you took and the actions that you would do different now. So after you look at the goals on your 21-day sheet goals, compare your previous actions to the actions that you want to take now. If there's anything that you wish you would have done before that maybe can help you in the situations that you're in now, add those actions to your 21-day goal sheet. Hope I didn't confuse you with that. So we're going to write down the time that you went through, you saw no way out, talk about how you made it out or how it ended, the results, what actions you took during that time, what actions you would do differently in that same situation, and then look at your current goals and compare them to what you did before and what you would also do in that same situation. After you that gives you a sense of gives you some tools of new actions you can take so that you won't end up in the same situation again. That's the point of this exercise. So after you're done with that, we'll go back into our writing our prayer, and get in your space, your place, or settle yourself and start off your prayer today with gratitude. Thankful for getting you out of that situation. Thankful for the situations that you're in that you may not be out of yet, but you know that you will make them out of them. Just be grateful for that. And then, just tell God your expectations, your desires of your heart. And I have a quote for you. Fear is the glue that keeps you stuck. Faith is the solvent that sets you free. And that's a quote by Shannon L. Alder. And remember to show up, be intentional, and expect great things to happen. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4. Make it a great day.